Greetings, Bears fans. This is the Meatball Composer, Chris Teichler of the Barely Educated podcast. I'm flying solo today. Mark, the smarter half, the better half of the show, he's entertaining this weekend and was unable to jump on today. And to be honest, I don't think he wanted to after what we've seen now for a couple weeks, consecutive weeks. Why is this Bears team so bad after the bye when things looked like they were starting to click? The Bears dropped their third in a row since the bye, this time to the New England Patriots. Now, this is not the New England Patriots of the Tom Brady and Bill Belichick era. This is the worst team in the NFL, New England Patriots, and the Bears get beat at home 19-3. No touchdowns. For the second game in a row, the Bears cannot manage to score a touchdown. Offense or defense. Ideally, you want them to score touchdowns on offense, but the Bears cannot seem to do that. So you lose 19-3 at home, a game that you should have won, a game that you desperately needed to win, because after this, the schedule is going to be a meat grinder. So the Bears are now, 4-5? 9 games into the season. That means there are 8 games left. 6 of those are against your division opponents, the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings, who are all, as of right now, much better than you. Much, much better. All fighting for playoff spots, which we were 3 weeks ago, until, I don't know what it is, coming out of the bye, going into Washington, something happened, or it's hard to explain. It's hard to understand. Okay, so 6 division games coming up, and you've also got the San Francisco 49ers. So that's 7 of your next 8 games. Where are you getting another win on this schedule this year if you could not beat the lowly New England Patriots at home? And not only did you got thumped by the worst team in the league, 19-3. Okay, so let's look at the schedule. Next week, next Sunday, 12 noon, the Green Bay Packers come to Soldier Field. That's a loss. I mean, it's like they're going to destroy the Bears at Soldier Field again. Okay, after that, Minnesota Vikings come to Soldier Field. Then, Thursday the 28th, Thanksgiving, the Bears head out to Detroit. So, the next 3 games, loss. The week after that, it's San Francisco out in California, in San Francisco, Levi's Stadium. After that, you go to the Vikings. After that, you host the Lions. After that, you host the Seattle Seahawks, and you wrap up the season at Lambeau Field against Green Bay. There is not another win on this schedule. The way they've played the last 3 weeks, 3 games that should have been wins, the level of self-destruction and absolute coaching malpractice, as former student Tim put it in our group chat today. I mean, that's exactly it. Caleb Williams, the best quarterback prospect the Bears have ever had, he looks lost. He looks confused. He's missing throws. He's missing easy throws that he made earlier this year. Again, right before the bye, he was making beautiful back shoulder touchdown passes to Keenan Allen. Oh, that was such a beautiful touchdown pass. I think that was in London to Keenan Allen. But ever since then, ever since the bye, he has not looked good. He has looked bad. And it's not all his fault. I don't know what he's supposed to do when there's no protection on the line. And I got to give a shout out here to, I think the game was on Fox today. They showed many angles, and the announcers talked about it too, from behind the Bears line of what Caleb's going to see. Nobody's open. Nobody's open. You drafted a first-round receiver, super talented. You traded for a future Hall of Famer in Keenan Allen. DJ Moore has been lights out for his time on the Bears. Cole Kmet has been one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and none of these guys can get open? What is Shane Waldron doing, and why? The Seahawks. When he was with the Seahawks. Sorry, my brain is firing all over the place today. When he's with the Seahawks, they had a decent, functional looking. He was credited with rejuvenating the career of Geno Smith. So what happened that he comes to Chicago and doesn't know how to run any kind of an NFL offense? It really boggles the mind. We thought Matt Nagy, we just need to get rid of Matt Nagy, and that was going to, anything would be an improvement over Matt Nagy. Well, Luke Getsy was not an improvement over Matt Nagy. He was a step down, couple. And he tried to, blame it all on Justin Fields and went to Oakland and was fired mid-season. Luke Getsy has already been fired from his second job in this calendar year. He's a bad offensive coordinator. His credentials consisted of standing next to Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay when he won 2 MVPs. And that gave enough street cred, I guess, to Luke Getsy to say, hey, there's an offensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing. So we get rid of that guy. And then Shane Waldron, who seemed to have some success in Seattle, like I said, rejuvenated Geno Smith's career. And it's worse than anything yet. What is going on? I saw a tweet that pointed the finger all at Eberflus for this. Like, that's the common denominator. Like, he is the one that is somehow ordering the coaches to be super conservative with the quarterbacks. Going back to Fields, and now Caleb. Boy, and Justin Fields tried to warn us, didn't he, last year? He said it's the coaching. He said coaching. Then he had to walk it back. But that was it. He was right. Matt Eberflus has to go. He's got to go tomorrow. As of right now, Sunday, November 10th, 6:36 p.m., he is still employed by the Chicago Bears. What is the reason for keeping him? I need one. I just need one reason for keeping him. Continuity? Pfft. I don't want to keep losing games 19-3 to teams that are far less talented than you. That's another thing. The Bears have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And anyone who thought, oh, maybe the Bears haven't quit, they quit. They quit. There's a shot of Caleb on the sideline sitting next to Shane Waldron, and you can tell Caleb just wants nothing to do with him sitting there. Speaking of tweets, here's a good tweet from Mike Greenberg, ESPN Greenie. Caleb Williams was drafted ahead of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, and Bo Nix because of his talent. He is playing worse than any of them because of his coaching. The Bears are doing it to another young quarterback. The Bears are doing it again to another young quarterback. So predictable, so frustrating. That's a national guy. National guys are frustrated with the Bears because they know how good Caleb Williams can be. It's hard to watch him being wasted. Yeah. Another tweet. James Naveau, at James Naveau. Congratulations, Bears. You have broken Caleb Williams. You have once again turned a city against you, and you have embarrassed yourself throughout the league. Bravo. Well done. Louis Riddick, ESPN. Bears offense has no plan, just calling plays like ordering off a menu. That was the same thing that was said about Nagy and Getsy. There was no consistent plan. It was just calling plays. Like Anakin Skywalker in episode 1. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Dan Durkin. DJ Durkin on Twitter. He retweeted the Louis Riddick tweet saying, "Been saying this all year. Plays called at random. Nothing builds on itself. Fully wasted Caleb's first year due to a bad coaching and an indefensible approach with the offensive line. Proper yet predictable Bears mess." So there's Dan Durkin who said predictable. Mike Greenberg also so predictable. The Bears are a national joke again. This time with a talented prospect, and he's missing easy throws now. Deep ball is still non-existent. They are breaking him. The Bears are breaking Caleb Williams. There is no reason not to fire Shane Waldron and Eberflus right now, today. There is no reason to keep them. Well, who's going to take over? Does it matter? The team has quit on these guys. So they're either going to keep playing quit on a lame duck staff or get a clean slate just to try to finish out the year with some respectability, because they know they can't do that with this coaching staff. They can't. It's not going to happen. Another tweet here. Jacob Infante. He's a good follow on Twitter. At Jacob Infante 24. If the Bears don't fire Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron within the next 24 hours, they will never fire a head coach mid-season for the rest of time. There's never been an easier decision for this franchise to make. And that takes me to Ryan Poles. What are you doing, GM Ryan Poles? You're seeing this. You've done a pretty good job rebuilding this roster over 3 years. You did a masterful job with the Carolina Panthers, trading our first-round pick to them and getting theirs to draft Caleb Williams. You've put weapons around him, and the coaches that you've hired are not having success with them. I had to filter myself there. So what are you going to do about it? Do you not think there needs to be change? Is this acceptable to you? Are you going to go down with these guys? Where's your self-respect? Where's your pride? Let's go over some stats of the game, shall we?
Oh, no.
We need to do this. I don't want to do this, but we kind of need to do this. Okay, so once again, the Bears lose 19-3 at home, at Soldier Field, to a chorus of boo birds, which I had a friend whose son was at the game, and he said the boos were incessant and way louder than what you could hear on the television. And good. Bears need to be told this is not acceptable. Okay, so total net yards. 142 yards the Bears had. 142 total yards against one of the worst defenses in the NFL, New England Patriots. Time of possession. The Patriots had it for 32.5. Bears had it for 27.5. Yet a 16-point swing with that. Caleb was 16 of 30 for 120 yards, so just barely over 50%. Again, against one of the worst teams in the league. But 16 completions for 120 yards, that's awful. That is terrible. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Hey, I didn't turn the ball over. That's the most important thing. I hope I hope we are past that nonsense from Bears fans that you just need a game manager who won't turn the ball over, just someone who will protect the ball. Well, guess what? The Bears won the turnover battle last week and this week and got blown out of both games. So you know what's more important than winning the turnover battle? Scoring points. Scoring touchdowns. Is this really better than if Caleb had 4 touchdowns and 2 or 3 interceptions? Heck no. So hopefully we're past that point of the Bears quarterback just needs to protect the ball. That's why we need like a Kyle Ortman. Or put in that Tyson Bagent. His dad's an arm wrestler, you know. Rushing stats are pretty as well. DeAndre Swift, 16 carries, 59 yards. Caleb, 2 carries for 15 yards. Rashawn Johnson, 1 for -4. That's when our center just let the defensive lineman run up and right into Rashawn. That was amazing. Oh my goodness gracious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different receivers caught the ball today. So that's good, but none of them for really much production. Keenan Allen led with 5 catches for 44 yards. That's about 8 yards a catch. Longest was 12. DJ Moore, 3 for 24. Man, what is going on with him? Maybe he's seeing what we're seeing. Maybe that's what it is. He feels stuck. He feels hopeless. I would. I'm a fan and I feel that way. I can't imagine these guys that this is their job. We need to remember that. This is their job. This is their livelihood. They hate this more than we do. No question. They're more embarrassed than we are. Hey, Cole Kmet had 2 catches. They remembered that they have Cole Kmet on the offense. 2 for 13 yards. Jeez. So, yeah, the Bears' offensive line is bad. We can't escape that. We have to remember that, keep that in mind. And tons of injuries on top of that. So the offensive line is a mess. But Waldron is doing nothing to work with that and to try to protect his quarterback. Caleb was sacked 9 times again today. And he's getting the David Carr treatment. Getting the pulp beat out of him. And David Carr was a talented prospect that was ruined because his team couldn't protect him. That's the path that the Bears are on with Caleb Williams right now. He's making throws that are not making throws. I guess I should say that Fields, in Justin Fields' first year, he was farther along than Caleb is right now. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, but in the last 3 weeks, he just looks lost, confused. What is Eberflus? Is Eberflus pumping his head full of just protect the ball, don't take risks? So that's going to make him gun shy and not try to make some risky throws. But again, nobody's open. So it's just a perpetual circle of what's wrong with the Bears offense. You just get on an on-ramp at any point and just end up driving the same circle. They can't block, so he's got no time, so he gets sacked, and the offense isn't doing anything to max protect or give him easy out passes, and even if that does happen, then he misses the guy wide open because he's under pressure the whole time, because it's just a nonstop, endless circle, and there's only one way to break this, and that's to make it stop. Clean house. Have Virginia come down and coach. I don't care. Can't be worse. Bayard was asked in the postgame, has the team quit on Eberflus? And he said, I'm not going to get into that. And then went on to say, yeah, we just need to play better. I don't want to get into that. He could have said no. He could have said, no, we're still behind he's our coach. We got his back. We're going to fight for him. He fights for us. Didn't say that. Just said, I don't want to talk about that. You don't need to read into it. The team has quit on this coaching staff. When is the GM going to do something about it? And if he doesn't, he needs to go too. I don't trust Ryan Poles to run this team if he can't identify the ineptitude that is Matt Eberflus and get rid of him. You do it at the end of the season, all you're going to do is get your franchise quarterback beat up more, smash his confidence more, and then the next head coach is going to have a hard time coming in and trying to put the pieces back together. Mark was right. The whole process of hiring Eberflus was just awful from the get-go. Just bad. And do we really even know if Poles is the guy who wanted Eberflus? It was a pretty fast hire after... It was less than 24 hours, I believe, after Poles became the GM that Eberflus was hired to be the head coach. And Poles was saying, oh, no, it's my guy. That's who I wanted. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think I believe that. Does anybody believe that? Thank you for listening to this episode of Barely Educated. Hopefully Mark and I can get back to some time to punch out the next episode together, either before or after the Packers game. But, man, it's hard to find things to talk about this team without getting upset. This is supposed to be step one into an era of competitive Bears football. And again, it looked like, okay, maybe we're getting there until the bye. And things have just collapsed since the bye. Even after Caleb helped lead 2 drives to take the lead in Washington, and then the Hail Mary really did break this team. And the lack of accountability from the coaches. The fact that the coaches said, well, yeah, we just needed the players to execute better. That has got to be the moment that the players quit on this staff. Right there. Right there. Oh, you're going to bail on us? Well, that's it, coach. All right. We will talk to you next time. Bears fans, if you got something better to do Sunday, you may want to find it. Or read a book. Take your kids to the park. You know what I'll be doing? Because I'm an idiot. I'll be watching the Bears-Packers game. Talk to you later, everybody. Take care.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
I love the Bears.